BigJackFilms here, and welcome back to the InuYasha vlogs, continuing on with Season 7, and this one's a massive one. Like, this one I'm actually, first of all, surprised how long it is, given how short Season 7 is, but on top of that, a lot of things happen in this one that you feel like it would be sort of the end of the show, but it's not. But that, of course, being the 4-part arc known as the Path to the Netherworld and the Animate Barrage arc. Or the Path to the Netherworld and the Last Shard arc is what I call it. So yeah, that. So, what happens in this arc specifically? So we kind of pick up after the last arc with, after the whole events with Kohaku and shit, but it turns out, essentially, the way it ended was that, Kikyo Shikigami, the two twin little things, find InuYasha and say, hey, Kikyo wants to see you. So InuYasha rushes over to Kikyo, and you think, oh god, here he goes again with his romantic shtick. But no, it turns out he goes there for important information, because Kikyo has advised, they pretty much kind of connect on what's happening in terms of information with Naraku and the border between this world and the next, and the last shard, and Kikyo kind of puts together, okay, so this might be our chance to kill Naraku. So InuYasha, take this sacred arrow of mine and give it to her and have her use it when the time is ready. But on top of that, make sure Kagome stays away from the battle because Naraku wants her eyes, because she can see the sacred jewel shards. So, in this case, Kikyo is now starting to essentially, help Kagome kind of. There's a feeling, I guess you could say, that Kikyo knows she's not going to be around much longer, so she's kind of wanting to pass on the torch to Kagome to give her the power to defeat Naraku in case she does not. So, because she's still under healing and shit, which is interesting, and InuYasha goes back to the group and pretty much, wanted to make sure Kikyo's alive to his confirmation, but gives the arrow to Kagome, explains the information, and Kagome's like, alright, even though she's kind of jelly that he went to see Kikyo. While that's going on, Naraku visits Princess Abi and says, bitch, you betrayed me. You turned traitor. You should have thought of that. So, come at me. Let's fight. So Princess Abe and her mom finally comes out, and her mom, which has been this eye in this mountain, finally reveals itself to be the giant claw, essentially. It's this big giant bird thing with, a blue mane, it can breathe fire, a fire-breathing giant claw. Yeah, eat your heart out, Godzilla. And, where's that movie, Godzilla versus the Giant Claw? But to the point, the mom actually eats Naraku, swallows him whole, and the group show up and think, oh, well, there's Naraku really dead? Well, gee, Moroku, check your wind tunnel. Is it still active? Yeah? Then Naraku is still alive, so shut up! So, they're fighting Princess Abe, and then, surprise, Naraku comes out of her mom's head. You think it would be like the chest burster or something from Alien, or God, imagine it's like, oh God, oh my daughter, I have to lay an egg, and it's Naraku. No, he comes out of her forehead like he's a freaking brain tumor, and it's like the chest burster in Alien where it comes out the head. That's kind of cool. The mom dies, not really that powerful. Princess Abe tries to kill Naraku, but the trident she carried was part of his body, so it evaporates. She has no arm. And I guess Naraku's like, hey Abe, thanks for giving me a hand, which is interesting, and then says, I'll give you a merciful death as a reward, kills her instantly, showing that Naraku gives zero fucks about human life and is willing to use every advantage he can and then dispose of them after. He truly is a sadist, which I love in this episode. And so, the path is open through a river of human blood that they can travel to because Abe's birds were collecting blood. So, they travel to the path of the Netherworld and are ready to go try to find Naraku in the last shard, which we find out is embedded in the body of InuYasha's father. So what's great is all these subplots that have been kind of, all separate for the characters are now starting to fuse into one. It's sort of like a spiral where you start with a big one and then you don't stop until you hit the target, so everything's all interconnected. Well, that's going on. Kagra says to Sesshomaru, hey, I know where Naraku's going and your brother's going to be there. I can get you in without using the bird blood thing. And so Sesshomaru's like, okay, how do you get in? And what I love is their tension. You're starting to see sort of their relationship and their connection a lot more closer. It's very Batman Catwoman-esque, which is I kind of like. So Kagura takes Sesshomaru to those two statued pillars that have the border open. And clearly InuYasha could not do it prior, but then when Sesshomaru pulls out Tenseiga, well, the statues are like, "You are the possessor of the great sword of the afterlife. We bow before you." And it's like, they're like, "Go ahead, you have the key, go on in." So Sesshomaru just goes in, and he's going to chase after his brother. Before we continue on, I should point out that this is also the first arc where we kind of get our last intro and outro to the show, our new one. So the first one is, I think the song's called Amadas, which is like sung by, I can't remember which artist, but I actually am very conflicted about this final opening to the original run because I like it for its catchy beat. It's very Spanish, I guess, because like there's a couple, like you feel like you could add the Mexican tap dancers, and in some of the beats you could go, ole! It's very Hispanic, which I kind of like. I mean, put this in Kaiketsu Zoro, it would match perfectly. In fact, I remember playing this song in a game of Dance Dance Revolution, which I play on occasion. I don't play the arcade, but I have the mat, like the mat for the Xbox, but I played it on PS2, that song, which is interesting. I want to get the PS2 version, which would be nice, because I used to play a lot of DDR Revolution Extreme 2 on PS2. I can't remember what the exact title, but that had the song in it, which I liked. But to the point, it's a decent song. The outro, however, is kind of lackluster and very disappointing. It's more just like, we kind of ran out of songs, so here's one because we don't care. Which is a shame, because this is by V6, who did Change the World in the first season. And this is like one of those tracks that you get with your albums, like your band's favorite album, and then there's that one song in the album that you just skip. That's the song for V6, unfortunately. So it's a very lackluster intro and outro. But to the point, back to the show. This is like, it's got, God, I'm gonna miss those intro outros for shows. So it's like, we'll be right back. Now, back to these messages. Like, just that shit. But to the point, they get to the border. They find InuYasha's father's grave, which hopefully we never, after this, hear from again. That's a filthy lie. But to the point, they find out why the shard is there. It's because there is a demon attached to InuYasha's father's body, which is made entirely out of adamant crystals. And this demon is known as Hosenki. And if you guys remember from a couple of arcs ago, Hosenki was the one who forged the Black Pearl in InuYasha's eye, for which he has flashbacks and was allowing to open the border. Now, we had met his son prior, but this is the actual Hosenki. By the way, Miyoga's with us on this adventure, who's able to give some exposition about what's happening, and basically tries to talk to Hosenki. And yes, Hosenki has the jewel shard. When he died, the shard went with him. That's why he ended up there. So basically, the shard starts to become dark and corrupted in the possession of Hosenki. It's very much like the One Ring of Power, and starts to turn black and turn Hosenki evil, and is attacking InuYasha and the group with projectile adamant crystal spears. And this was all part of Naraku's plan to corrupt the jewel shard because he has the rest. So when InuYasha gets bitch slapped at the end of part 2, and you think there's no way he dies that way, Naraku shows up out in his barrier and says, "Hey, I guess he's dead," you know, and he's gonna take the shard, but InuYasha comes in and says, "Oh, I was waiting for you the whole time, bitch, so let me try it." So he tries the Red Tetsaiga, the Wind Scar, the Backlash Wave. None of it works. In fact, he had a strategy that he would shoot the Wind Scar, knowing Naraku's barrier would bounce it back, and then use the Backlash Wave, which I don't think he usually does half the time, which is interesting. But to the point, it does not work. Tetsaiga's kind of useless. So our heroes are kind of shits for brains, like they got nothing left. Moroku can't use his wind tunnel, Hyoniko's can only take out a couple of demons, and Kagome is very low on arrows. She has to be limited, so what is there to do? Well, good for them. Big Brother's in the house. Sesshomaru shows up and knocks out Naraku and is ready. And it's weird because part 3 is called, like, InuYasha versus Sesshomaru. You think they're gonna fight? Big fat lie of a title, because Sesshomaru just, his first notion, attacked Naraku. Naraku's like, "Oh, Sesshomaru, so you came to look for your precious little brother? Well, you can't, and you're gonna fight me now." And like, Sesshomaru literally runs right past Naraku. Naraku has that look of, "Am I being ignored?" Sesshomaru, are you ignoring me? Get back here! But Sesshomaru goes right to InuYasha, knocks him the fuck out for no apparent reason other than, how dare you disrupt our father's grave? That's for Dad. Now let me take care of this asshole. Then goes to fight Naraku. How insulting must that be for Naraku that he is ignored just so Sesshomaru can punch his brother and then fight? He's like, not the first priority, and I love, in a way, Naraku starts getting very psychotic, his eyes dialed back, which we rarely see. It shows he's kind of pet peeve, he's kind of emotionally hurt by that. He's looking at Naraku like, bro, that hurts me. Now I'm gonna kill you. And it gets pretty serious, like, miasma's coming in, they're trying to block it off, but then and also Naraku has the last shards, which you're like, well, shit, we're fucked, aren't we? He's gonna fuck up the whole world. So, while Sesshomaru and Naraku are fighting, Hosenki looks to InuYasha and says, yo man, look, I don't have the shard, I am so sorry for attacking you. Take my crystals and let me forge myself into Tetsaiga. And boom! New achievement unlocked! New technique! InuYasha has what's known as the Adamant Barrage, which is another power-up that if you swing Tetsaiga, it projectiles crystal adamants, which I guess are strong enough to take out Naraku's new barrier because he uses that motherfucking thing and cuts down Naraku's barrier. Naraku's like, oh shit, and then Sesshomaru comes in with Tokijin and does a dragon strike, hits Naraku. Naraku's like, oh shit, and then Kagomi's like, let me get Kikyo's arrow, shoots at the sacred jewel shard, purifying it, grabbing the jewel shard, and Naraku's hit as well. He's like, shit, I'm out, I'm teleport, and he takes the fuck off. Meanwhile, we cut to Kagura and, Hakudoshi and, Kohaku, who are just chilling in that cabin in the mountains, and Kagura's like, yo, what the fuck's happening? And then, boom! Naraku shows up in Hakudoshi's barrier. The arrow which hit him goes right into Hakudoshi. You think, well, Hakudoshi's dead. So basically, Naraku used this kid as an extra barrier backup exit way, like portal, and he's still not dead. And you're thinking to yourself, this could have been a great finale. All of our heroes are together, they're ready to take him out, and he gets away again. But thankfully, they have the last shard, and they follow Sesshomaru back to the gate, and they go home. And that's really how this 4-part episode ends. We get the last jewel shard, we take one last look at InuYasha's father's grave, and then Tetsaiga gets a new technique with the Adamant Barrage, and that's kind of where we're at. Like, this was the way the 4-parter ends. So there's a lot of betrayal, a lot of fighting, a lot of strategy, a lot of, this and that. Who's thinking what? What's doing what? And I'll admit it is a little bit, repetitive, and that can be a bit annoying. And you think for the show coming to sort of its supposed ending, it would be fine, but here it's a little bit annoying. I think, much like most of this didn't need to be 4 parts, which is weird because we've only got a few episodes left, guys. We've only got a few. There's not many left until we hit the 4th movie, so it's kind of interesting. Had this been the finale, would have been okay with it, but it's not. But what's interesting, too, is that what I like about these last few episodes, I will say this. The budget for the last few episodes, like, I've watched so far 6 episodes of Season 7, and the budget's really good. The animation's really good quality. It's really impressive. Nothing feels half-assed. The acting's great. Everything's pretty good, because everything's starting to be condensed down to the central good versus evil story, where we have all these characters that don't longer have conflict, now knowing they have to take out these guys, and it's just going to lead to this war with Naraku, which we hope to come to a conclusion here. But overall, this arc was pretty good. I was very entertained by it. It was good to go back and watch it. I kind of keep forgetting what happens halfway through. It resolves things, it adds things, it kind of condenses things down. I'm really liking where this is going. So, I overall enjoyed this arc. This is one of the best of this final season of the original run. And I'm going to give this one a good 8 or 9 out of 10. Like, this is one to check out. It's not one of my favorite episodes, I don't think. but it is still pretty entertaining. It's got great action, great character moments, great animation. This is one of the better episodes of the show in terms of just arcs. So let me know your thoughts on this arc in the comment section below. Don't forget to support our Patreon. Just $1 more will get you early access to all of our content, as well as other special features. And tune in next time when we take a look at a two-parter that I remember, but it's kind of pointless. It's sort of we got like maybe I think 3 more filler episodes before this show officially is, like, this original run is over. So just stick with us. It's about 2 more weeks of filler, and then the last week will, I think, be the finale. I'm not sure, but let's find out. So until the next video, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms signing off for now, and we're almost there. We're almost done. It feels kind of sad in a way, but this was a good episode. I'll see you guys later. Take it easy.